Safety is so important these days, and I'm not going to be driving a bigger vehicle. This would probably be a car I would use as a family car, so safety is definitely important.
Yeah, it's really important to me. I have a 3-year-old nephew, so when I'm driving with him in the car, I want to know that he's safe too.
Almost 9 times out of 10, I'm driving with my kids, so absolutely, safety is a huge component for me.
You're putting your life and other people's lives at risk every time you get onto the road, and you can't control what other people are doing.
The fact that I have 2 kids and there's 10 airbags, like, that's phenomenal.
Where do they put them all?
There's even ones for your knees, which is great.
Really, 10 airbags, where would they fit them all?
Like, so then I'd be surrounded in airbags. That is a nice feature. That would make me feel like I'd be in a cushion.
Wow, that's a lot of airbags.
It's great to know that a car has 10 standard airbags and you don't have to pay extra money for that.
You shouldn't have to pay for safety.
The fact that it's standard is very surprising and great.
That should be standard in all cars.
Maybe I'll trade in my Lexus for the 10 airbags.
I knew quite a bit about OnStar before. My parents have a car with OnStar and whatnot, so that was pretty basic, like the emergency control and the fact that when you get in an accident, it actually realizes you don't even have to call in, it detects it automatically is pretty cool too.
We all know about being able to use it if you're in an accident or if you see an accident. Those are features that I think are really important to have. Something else we were talking about was the directions feature, that I don't have to, if I'm lost, I can ask a question to somebody to help me get out of wherever I am, rather than having to figure out a GPS system. I really like that feature, so it just got a little bit more attractive to me, the OnStar.
I do a lot of driving, so I want something that is going to be good on gas, save me money.
Right now, I think I get about 500 kilometers on I think it's a 45-liter tank. So if I could do better than that, that'd be great.
I think that's huge, 1,000 kilometers per tank.
You're telling me that I could probably get 1,000 kilometers on a single tank of gas.
That is amazing. That is impressive.
Wow. That's a lot. That's twice as much as what I drive right now, and I thought I was doing well.
Love the idea that I can drive to Montreal and back without filling up my gas tank. I hate pumping gas, so the less I have to do it, the better.
I'd be able to drive the whole month in one tank. Awesome.
So a car that would this big, that looks like this, feels like this, drives like this, that can go 1,000 kilometers per tank is just phenomenal. I didn't know they made cars like that. It's definitely something to consider moving forward when buying your next future car.
I think that it looks like not my mother's car.
It's very sleek. It's not too flashy, which is good.
It's nice to be able to show up and meet a client in something that's going to look good and look successful.
Getting into this car, like, you feel good in the car. It's got a lot of really great little details inside and the inside trim that just make it feel like a good vehicle to drive.
It's got the nav and everything's controllable right here.
I feel like I'm in more of a European style car.
It feels like a premium car.
It looks youthful, but also it feels like a grown-up car. So I don't feel like it's trying to be too sporty, but I don't also feel like I'm driving around in my grandmother's Corolla that looks, you know, like it's my grandmother's car.
Not only could I put my seat in any number of positions, but I could also move the steering wheel so that it was in the perfect spot for me.
The fact that I can really customize my steering position using, you know, the telescopic steering.
All the added features in this car are great, like the auxiliary and the USB connectivity here. Obviously, most people have iPods, so they want to play the music in the car.
I loved having the MP3 controls and the Bluetooth controls on the steering wheel. I think that adds a lot to the safety factor of the car.
I like that all of the buttons are easy to find close to me. I don't have to go searching for them because when I'm driving, I want to pay attention to the road. I don't want to be searching.
The last thing that you want to do is fumble around with controls when you're driving.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenient to be able to just use everything here from my thumb.
I can just hit the button. It's really easy to tell what button it is, and I can talk to someone right away.
And if it's all accessible on your steering wheel without having to fumble, that's pretty gold.
The directions feature that I don't have to, if I'm lost, I can ask a question to somebody to help me get out of wherever I am, rather than having to figure out a GPS system. I really like that feature.
I'm about to take the Chevrolet Cruze for a spin. Just so you know, I'm 6'8", so this should be interesting. The space on the driver's seat is amazing. My head, I mean, I still got like 4 or 5 inches headroom. It's got more legroom than my SUV, which is awesome.
It doesn't feel like a small car to me.
There was a lot more room than I was expecting, both in the front seat and the back seat.
You know, it looks roomy and is roomy. It doesn't look roomy and then you get in the back and you're all squished together.
And I like how the seats go down and the trunk has a lot more space than you'd expect.
It looks like there's enough room to put furniture in there.
We like to do a lot of do-it-yourself projects, and the fact that we can flip the seats down and we have that ability to, maybe slide some lumber in there.
I think it does everything that a sort of a mid-sized sedan would actually do, and so yeah, I wouldn't really classify it as a small car. It doesn't feel small to me, especially on the inside.
From everything I've seen today and all the features that they have built into the car and the starting price that I've heard, it would definitely be something that I'd consider.
Considering I ruled out all cars when I was car shopping to begin with, I kind of wish something like this had been on the market.
I thought driving the Cruze was amazing. That was a smooth ride. It was very sporty feeling, very comfortable.
It handled amazing. Honestly, it's like a sports car.
It's got a really tight suspension, which I like. I guess that's pulling from European, sort of like a BMW feel on the handling.
Great handling. That car had great handling. Yep. Nice small steering wheel, so I felt like I could corner through a racetrack. That was great.
It handled well. It actually felt like I was driving a luxury vehicle, very smooth.
This feels a lot tighter, a lot more, I guess, European feeling.
It's nice. It drives really nice.
I feel like when I put my foot down a little heavier here, I've got some power, whereas sometimes I'll put the pedal to the metal in the Civic and I don't seem to go anywhere. So.
I definitely felt the turbo kick in. That was a really nice surprise, actually.
Yeah, I felt it kick in. I was actually driving and I didn't even know how fast I was going because it just kicked in right away.
Nice smooth brakes.
I was actually kind of surprised when I drove it because it actually drove like a luxury vehicle, and I actually own a Lexus, so I'm kind of surprised and embarrassed to say that it drives similar to that.
It definitely was competitive with my Civic. I have to say it was competitive, and I am a Civic fan, and it rivaled it for sure.
This vehicle really, really does capture all that, and the ride was very European and top-notch as far as suspension and handling.
This is not just like your average compact car anymore. It's stepping up its game. It's taking it to a whole nother level.